The hare limped, trembling through the frozen grass. F. Scott Fitzgerald believed that this line is one of the finest sentences ever written in the English language. But why? What is it about these 8 words that Fitzgerald found so fascinating? And more importantly, what can we learn from it to improve our own writing? Because whether you're a seasoned writer or just beginning, there's always more to learn. It may seem simple at first, but I promise you, your writing will never be the same. Now, a few years ago, I was really diving deep into what makes great writing, and one of the authors that I was reading about was F. Scott Fitzgerald. And if you don't know, he is known for writing The Great Gatsby. Through my research, what I discovered was a collection of letters that F. Scott Fitzgerald wrote to his daughter. And in one particular letter from 1938, he shares this advice about adjectives. All fine prose is based on the verbs carrying the sentences. They make sentences move. Probably the finest technical poem in English is Keats' Eve of St. Agnes. A line like, "The hare limped, trembling through the frozen grass," is so alive that you race through it, scarcely noticing it. Yet it has colored the whole poem with its movement. The limping, trembling, and freezing is going on before your own eyes. When I first started writing, I was using a ton of different adjectives and descriptive words to really try and paint an image in my reader's mind. But what happened when I reread my work was that I found it to be very dull. And that's what happens when you're overly descriptive and you don't include enough action words or verbs. Because you can use as many words as you want to describe a scene and the way it looks, but if there's no movement, it's dead on the page. The answer to this is verbs. Let's look at 2 examples to see this advice in action. The ancient, mystical, enchanting forest was filled with dark, ominous, foreboding shadows and strange, eerie, unsettling sounds. This line is exhausting to read for a lot of reasons, but what kills it is the overuse of adjectives. There are so many that you can't even picture what's going on, and that's the point. If you don't prioritize verbs, then there's no action, no movement. It's dead. Now let's take a look at an example that prioritizes verbs over adjectives. Something crushed the chicken wire around me. Metal ripped on metal, and I fell to the ground and rolled as far as I could, floundering to escape my wire prison. From somewhere nearby came scuffling, kicking sounds, sounds of shoes and flesh scraping dirt and roots. As you can see, the second line is filled with life. You can see the action and hear it too. Verbs like crushed, ripped, rolled, floundering, scuffling, and scraping all help create a scene in your head. Like I said at the beginning, this advice is pretty simple, but it makes a huge difference in the quality of writing. When I first read F. Scott Fitzgerald's advice, I thought it was too simple, too uncomplicated to be true. But as I read more books with this advice in mind, I started to really notice what made certain sentences pop and really explain why other sentences left me a little bored. So remember, next time you decide to write, make sure to focus on the verbs you choose rather than the adjectives you choose. I mean, really, you should be focusing on all words. Every single word you put on the page should be put there for a reason, but this advice hasn't really been talked about much, and so I just wanted to put it out there. As always, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, you taking your time to see me speak on these topics, and have a great day.